I think one of the major concerns that people have when it comes to like the Xbox One X is the longevity of the console. Is it going to last a long time? Is it future-proof? Is it worth picking up now? Are we just going to get another one in 2 years that's going to be much better? And I found an article that really explains the tech and what's going on in the industry right now, well, far better than I've heard on any podcast or from any YouTuber. And so I'm going to do my best to kind of convey it, and I will, of course, link it so you guys can check it out as well. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you guys for checking it out. I surely do appreciate it. Feeling much better for those of you who were asking. Thank you guys very much. So anyway, we are moving far into the world of Ultra HD or 4K, which, if you didn't know, was 3840 by 2160. And also, obviously, HDR, which is actually a color enhancement graphical effect, is something that is really kind of getting pushed now as well. Both these things together are an absolute game changer. So we do have that to kind of look forward to in terms of where we're going. So this article starts off saying, back in 2013, Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto admitted that HD development on the Wii U took the company by surprise and required twice the human resources than past efforts. In an answer to a question about the rising cost of HD game development, Undead Labs technical art director Steve Theodore, he was previously a technical director on Halo 3 and an artist on Half-Life, he said that similar enemy creatures required far more time. A Half-Life Houndeye took 2 weeks to finish in 97, while a similar Hivemind enemy made in 2007 took 7 weeks, and the design almost didn't make it into the game at all. That was all for a jump to HD, so what about the move to Ultra HD? Well, not every developer is using the Xbox One X in the same way, so they reached out to a number of developers who have games that aim for 4K resolution, and they were kind enough to kind of share some of this stuff. Since the 4K generation is less about a major game hardware switch, and by that I mean a brand new console from the ground up, there hasn't been very many big changes in how we build content, says Monolost Matt Allen, so he made Shadow of War. For years, our artists have had to build their content at a high enough fidelity to run on the most powerful machines we can. This is because it is easier to remove details and resolution than it is to add it. As a side note, even now, most of our models and textures are still being made at a resolution that modern consoles can't run effectively. Development costs aren't rising due to the move to 4K because developers have been working with much higher resolutions for some time now. The real cost in terms of visual presentation comes down to optimization, figuring out which assets can be scaled down to run on the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro or their weaker counterparts. Even now, most of our models and textures are still being made at a resolution that modern consoles can't run effectively. So think about that real quick. So they're making games at a much higher resolution and things that consoles right now can even do, and the Xbox One X can do resolutions up to 4K, and so that's really saying something with the tech. So that means that we're good for years to come with that, and then in the future these games are going to be able to be scalable as well, which is really cool. The primary content creation overhead for the Xbox One X version of the game was on the technical art team to fully maximize visual features and up-res our existing content that had already been created to 4K spec for the PC version of the game, says the Coalition's Colin Penty. The Xbox One version of the game was very carefully assembled to ensure optimal performance and visual quality on that platform, so there was a rebalancing required for the Xbox One X version of the game once we began to modify that visual features list and content. So basically the PC version of games that have these higher specs and higher resolutions and textures and stuff are paying dividends for the Xbox One X because they're easy to just kind of go back and grab that. So he says, in short, having all that post-processing happen at a higher resolution on more pixels is insanely important, but it's also a super unsung hero. Everyone sees the 300,000 triangle models or the 8K textures and how great they look, but all the behind-the-scenes calculations add just as much wow factor, but nobody's really talking about it. So they're really going on, and it does kind of go on about how they create these things and how 4K is really here to stay in the next generation of gaming. You know, and I think that's really important because these developers they're saying, hey, we make this these engines and stuff to last the long haul. We make them to last for as long as we can possibly make them last. All of that is before you even move beyond 4K. The HDMI forum, the group behind television input standards, announced the official details for the HDMI 2.1 specification, which, by the way, Xbox One X supports for 8K resolution. dynamic HDR and variable refresh rate. Yeah, 8K. Back in September, Sharp announced its first 8K television set for commercial release, the 70-inch Aquos 8K TV set. There's no 8K content yet, but the TV's coming to China and Japan this year. Technology is moving faster than ever. 4K is here to stay, and 8K is coming sooner rather than later. In the middle of this, developers have to be ready to make games that stand up to the technology. And how far can the industry go before things hit a breaking point? It's ready for 8K, but for the next step and the one after, that question is left to be unanswered. So this is a fascinating read if you guys are interested in the more technical side of what's going on with the Xbox One X and what the future looks like as well. Really looking forward to hearing some of your guys' feedback on this. Very cool stuff. Let me know. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.